So, good evening to everyone. It's very encouraging to see so many people here. From what I understand, this is the first in-house session back again. So, yeah, very encouraging to see so many people coming to meditate in person. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ajahn Sādaro. I'm currently residing at the BSV here, so hopefully I can offer some teaching, some advice, leading some meditation. So from what I understand, what we do tonight is I'll give a short introduction about what's about sort of the basics of meditation, and then lead you in a meditation session for maybe 45 minutes, an hour, depending on how peaceful you all look. And then after that, at about maybe 8:30 or so, we'll do a question and answer session after that. So again, it's very encouraging to see everybody here, but also anybody that's maybe watching online as well. Is anybody watching online? Okay, great, cool. Yeah, so if anybody that is online and they're in the greater Melbourne area and they would like to actually start coming back to the in-person sessions, then they're more than welcome to do that. So just a quick background about myself, I guess. I said my name's Ajahn Sādaro. I ordained in Thailand a few years ago now. I ordained in the Ajahn Chah tradition, and I was fortunate enough to ordain under a very good monk named Ajahn. Spent many years with him, and then came back to Australia, a few years ago now, and I've been staying at different monasteries in Australia since I've been back here. So that's my short bio. I've done that, and I've meditated, and I've studied, and that's about it for that's about it for me. So I guess just a few quick things before we actually start the formal meditation is that just to give a bit of an overall view on what you should be aiming to do when you're actually practicing meditation. A lot of people think that, okay, I'm going to meditate, and what I need to do is to make my mind peaceful, and I need to change my mind and control my mind and can change my state. But what we're really trying to do is understand how our mind is in the present moment, and understand what the quality of our mind is. And if we can do that and keep our mindfulness within the present moment, then the calm and the peace and the happiness, all those things that you actually want out of meditation, will come as a result of that. So it's a little counterproductive to sit here and think, oh, I'm going to meditate now, and I want to get happy, I want to get calm, I want to get peaceful. It's if you do that, you're usually going down the wrong track. So the main thing you want to be trying to do is just accepting whatever comes into your mind at any one time, and whatever object that we'll be focusing on, just focus on that. Say it's the breath or something like that. Just focus on that. Don't worry about what's in the mind. Just sort of accept what's there, understand what's there, see what's there, see that it arises and see that it passes away. And there's no need to try to change it in any way. That's not your job. Your job is just to stay with the meditation object. So with that short introduction, I guess, we might start the formal meditation now. And so just before we start, just take a comfortable position, whether you're sitting cross-legged on the floor or in a chair, doesn't matter. The main thing to do is to try to keep your back nice and straight. And before you try to do anything, just resolve to put any worries or concerns or plans, to put all these down for the next 45 minutes or so. All your worries, concerns, all this will be there later. Just for now, just put it all down. And try to relax into the seated posture that you've taken. Start to bring your awareness to the feeling of the body sitting here. Just notice what it's like right now. Any sensations that are in the body. The feeling of the weight of your body sinking into the seat. All the different sensations there. The sensations in your hands and anywhere else that's touching each other. Just notice the different sensations there and just observe them for what they are. It's just something that arises and passes away and changes. And you can start to notice the sensations at the top of your head, whatever tingling or vibration is there. And you can start to move your attention down through the body, through the back of the head, through the face, noticing the changing sensations. Notice if there's any tightness or tension in your jaw or in your neck or in your shoulders, and just relax that. You can move your attention down through your arms, all the way down to the tips of your fingers. Just move your awareness around the body like this, like you're shining a torchlight around and just noticing what's there. You can notice the sensations in the chest region, the feeling of your clothes touching your body, through your abdomen, and again scan down the entirety of your back. And continue to move your awareness down through your legs, noticing all those different sensations, the weight, the pressure between your body and your seat. You can move all the way down to the soles of the feet. And just spend the next few minutes moving your attention up and down the body, from the soles of the feet all the way up to the top of the head. Just noticing whatever sensations are there, whether they're pleasurable or painful or neutral. And just notice that they continually change and mold and adapt. And as you continue to observe the sensations and sink in deeper and relax the body more and more, you can start to bring your awareness to the sensations associated with the breath. You can notice the sensations of the air touching the nostrils as it comes in and goes out of the nose. You can feel the sensations in that area. Or you can feel the sensations in the chest region as it expands and contracts. Or you can watch it in the abdomen area as it rises and falls with the breath. Wherever you feel most comfortable placing your attention in any one of those three spots, just try to place your attention on those sensations and just not let it wander off. Notice the sensations in a broad detail to start with. Once the breath come and go, just notice the raw sensations associated with breathing and try to keep your mind just on this one object. as your awareness settles in and sinks in, and with this natural flow and rhythm of the breath, just try to pay closer attention to this process. Try to notice the sensations in greater detail. But try to do this not from a position of grasping down and trying to focus too hard on the breath. Just make your awareness very relaxed and open, and just receive this feeling of the breath going in and going out. And whenever you notice that the mind has inevitably wandered off, there's no need to get agitated or frustrated. This is very, very natural. Just merely begin again and re-establish your awareness on the breath again. This is your job. This is what you have to do over and over. Again, there's no need to be discouraged when you notice that your mindfulness has lapsed and you've slipped off into a train of thought. Just whenever you are mindful of that process, just merely begin again anew. Just like you're watching the very first breath again. as you keep your mind anchored on this point of stillness as the breath comes in and goes out. You can also notice any moods or emotions that you might be feeling. Maybe restlessness or boredom, or calm and peace and relaxation. You can notice these feelings, and you can also notice the thoughts that come up as well. Just notice that both these phenomena, the thoughts and the feelings and the moods that come up, they just merely arise and pass away. Thoughts of boredom and restlessness just come and go. Feelings of tranquility and calm, they don't last forever. Just watch all this come and go, just like you'd watch clouds floating through the sky. These thoughts and these moods, they're the same as clouds. They're transparent and misty. They're ethereal. There's no real substance to them. They just arise out of nowhere and drift through and disappear. So there's no need for us to cling to them or attach to them. We just watch and let them go. in the last few minutes of the meditation session. I'd just like to get you to change the focus of your attention and bring to mind somebody that you're close to or that you care for a lot, and just try to think of this person. Could be a parent or a child or another family member or a friend, but somebody who you care for and you have a good relationship with them. And as you think of this person, just realize that as you care for them, just realize that you really do want them to be happy and well and safe. You really do aspire for this person to have these joyous mind states. So just try to wish this person, wish them well. You can think, may you be happy and safe and free from any agitation and ill will. And not only think these thoughts, but really try to feel the emotion of loving kindness towards this person that you care for. Try to sink into it and fully immerse yourself in this feeling of metta or loving kindness towards this person. And now bring to mind somebody else who you know and you're close to, like a friend. And again, realize that you do want the best for this person. You don't want to see them suffer. So just take this feeling of loving kindness that you have in your heart now and radiate it towards this person. And you can think towards them. May you be at ease. May you be safe. May you always be well. May you overcome any obstacles and problems in your life. May you have success and joy. And now extend this to a group of people you may know, your broader family or group of friends that you're very close to. Try to radiate this feeling of loving kindness out towards them. And know that even though sometimes you may have difficulties, you do want these people to be happy. You don't want to see them in any sort of difficulties and strife or suffering. And again, try to radiate these thoughts, and more importantly, this feeling of loving kindness towards this group. May you all be well and free from suffering. May you all have joy and tranquility and experience peace in your life. And you can extend this feeling to all beings that you come in contact with, those that you're aware of or not aware of. And just look in your own heart and see that you don't really want others to suffer or to be in hardship or be in pain. And you do want the best for people and beings. So again, really sink into this feeling of loving kindness and try to radiate it towards all beings. And finally, bring to mind yourself and realize that you're someone who deserves to be happy as well, just as these other people deserve to be happy and free from suffering. So do you. And just realize that you are somebody who suffers. You are somebody who is pulled around by moods and emotions and situations and problems. So just try to wish yourself this same kindness and think and feel this. May I be happy. May I be at peace. May I be calm. May I be tranquil. May I be happy and safe, and may I be kind and generous and loving and giving towards all others. So, seeing as how there's so many of us here, don't waste the opportunity. If you have a question, you can ask it now. That's good. Must mean your meditation is all going well. Nobody's got any questions. You know what you're doing. It's good. It's very nice again to actually be sitting with a group. I'm sure a lot of people have missed doing that, and there's something really special about actually coming together and practicing meditation together. It's one thing if you can, do your practice at home and you have the will and you have you've built up the good habit to do something like this, but there's something really powerful about everybody getting together and actually doing some sort of meditation and doing it as a group. A lot of times we think meditation, it's just you here watching your breath and your thoughts and all these kinds of things, and it's just you working on this thing that's inside the black box here. But really, meditation really is also it's a social thing as well. When we practice, it's not just something that's for us, ourselves. It's also for the people that are around us and the people that we come in contact with. And so we're not just doing a practice like meditation just because we're trying to make ourselves happy. We're trying to do this to actually be a better person. So when we do interact in the world and when we do meet people and have to deal with people, that we are a better person in this, and we are a more kind and patient and generous and forgiving person. So meditation it really is something that's not just for the individual, but it's also for all those around you as well. So actually coming here and everybody getting together, it's a really inspiring thing to actually see. And yeah. So does anyone actually have any questions, or ask me anything? It doesn't necessarily have to be about meditation. It can just be normal things as well, if you like. Is there any questions on there, or radio silence? It's
There is one online question now, Ajahn.
great.
Dear Ajahn, when I meditate on the breath, I get started with sounds and feel strong fears. Should I go... maybe it's I get startled by sounds, I think, and feel strong fears. Should I go back on the breath or take care of the fear feelings?
So the best thing is if you've decided to have a period of meditation where you might sit for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is, and you've decided, okay, just in this period of time that I'm going to be practicing, I'm just going to focus on the breath, and that's the thing that I want to be keeping my attention on. If you do start to become startled by a sound or something like that, you should just try to come back to the breath. But even though you may feel like there's a bit of a shock or a startleness there, you can just notice. You can notice what it is, but you don't have to give it the full weight of your attention. You don't have to shift all the way onto the fear and make that fear the focus of your attention. It's better to try to actually bring the mind back to the object that you're trying to focus on. And if you can continue to do this, you'll start to notice a lot more that these things, they won't come in and impinge and annoy or make you as frightened as much. They'll just be more something that comes in and maybe shakes the mind for a little bit, but then the mind settles back down. But in saying that, if it is a constant thing and you are having a lot of fear come up about the sounds, and maybe it's very shocking, maybe it's very jarring, then you could try to investigate that in some sense. If your mind is reasonably calm, you could try to just see the fear for what it is, or see the sound just for what it is. It's just something that's arisen in your experience. It's just something that's come in contact with your awareness, and it's there, and then it floats away or it disappears. And if it's something like fear or agitation or some sort of anxiety, a good thing to do is actually maybe not look at the thoughts associated with the fear, but maybe look at the kinds of feelings that you're having in the body, the different kinds of sensation. A lot of time, if we feel fearful, there's the heart speeds up and we maybe become tense in different places. So if you're becoming too distracted by the fear, maybe you can look at the sensations instead and just see that the fear response that you're having is, a lot of the times, it's just a bunch of sensations in the body, and the mind is actually reacting to that in a particular kind of way. So the heart rate's speeding up and your body's tensing up and it's becoming agitated and tight, and then the mind becomes that way, and it forms a bit of a loop and a cycle there. So if you are feeling fearful about anything, or anxious or worried or shocked or anything like that, you can, instead of trying to figure out what's going on, why am I frightened, why is the sound of this stick hitting the window, why has that frightened me, actually look more at the sensations that are in your body and just observe those for what they are, as just merely like a pattern of energy that's in your body, a pattern of feeling in your body. And you can see that it changes and it moves, and that the mind is reacting to something like that. So hopefully that answered the question, and that, generally it is, if it's not a big thing, if it's just like, oh, what was that? It's just better to go back to the breath. That's usually the best thing to do.
There is another online question, but before we go to that, are there any other questions from anyone in the hall here? No? Not at this stage. So the last question here is, Dear Ajahn, this is the $64,000 question that I think everyone wants to, or grapples with at some point. Dear Ajahn, how does one stop racing thoughts?
If I had worked that out, I'd probably be in a cave somewhere. It's you'd never see me again. Yeah, it's obviously that's what we're Well, actually, that's the thing most of us think we're trying to do in meditation, is we're trying to stop the thoughts, and that is something that's it's really hard to do. You need to train for a long period of time. You need to really be proficient in meditation before you can actually stop that excessive agitation, and the mind just comes down and down further and further into that point of stillness. And then when the thoughts can drop away. That takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of skill, a lot of endurance, and so the big thing that I usually like to try to tell people is like, you're not really trying to stop your thoughts, because your thoughts that you're having, this is something that's hard coded into you, where we're designed to think a lot. We're designed to always be on the lookout for things that worry us and things that could be dangerous for us. So the mind is continually searching these things out. So trying to stop that process isn't always necessarily a good thing. Sometimes you need to do that if it's not really good if you like, okay, I'm going to stop all my thoughts now, and then you like walk out onto the street tonight. It's, you're going to get hit by a car, or so you do need thoughts there at some times. You do need thoughts of like, oh, I need to know what to buy for the groceries so I don't starve, all these kinds of things. So the thoughts that come up aren't really the problem. I think thoughts are just a natural reaction for us moving throughout the world. What is the problem is an attachment and an identification with these thoughts. Our trying to control these thoughts and wanting them to be a particular kind of way. And even worse than that, trying to control them to the point where I don't want these things anymore. Because the more you try to squeeze them out, the harder they're going to fight, the harder they're going to push back at you. So how we need to try to practice is just doing what we were doing before, just trying to stay with the breath. If it runs off, when the mind runs off and you do start thinking, then you just, okay, oh, I've become lost, pull it back and start again, and you might get a small respite from the thoughts. Okay, I get back on the breath. Oh yeah, this is good, I'm getting the hang of this. And then the thoughts start to roll on again. So you just have to keep continually coming back to the breath, and trying not to control it too much, and just see that it is a process that's always ongoing. But if you can learn to actually not try to control it too much, and try to control the only thing you can control is your mindfulness and your attention. If you can do that, then hopefully they do calm down a little bit. But I guess another thing that you can do as well is, if you say, for example, you try to sit meditation and you're really agitated about something, really worried, really concerned, and it just doesn't matter what you do when you're trying to watch the breath. You're just assailed by thoughts, and it's like an avalanche crashing in on you. You can actually use the thoughts to try to calm the mind down as well. So say, for example, you could try to investigate something at that point in time, use a Dhamma theme, so for example, something like impermanence, and just try to use the thinking mind at that time to calm the mind down a little bit, so you can think, oh, everything that I've experienced in my life, it's impermanent. This body that I have, it's been changing, it's getting older, it's moving through all these different stages. Any feelings that I've had in my life, they haven't stayed, they've changed, they've continued to arise and pass away. And so you can use a theme of Dhamma to recollect, but as long as you're keeping it in this kind of overarching parameter, you're not just thinking on and on. You're thinking of one kind of theme and you're trying to investigate. And if you keep your mind within this broader sphere of one Dhamma topic, eventually the mind will start to calm down more and more and more and more. So you're thinking about all these different things of impermanence, and then it might get to the point more of like, well, my body's impermanent, my thoughts are impermanent, my feelings are impermanent, and then it just gets more and more. It's just, everything's impermanent, arises, passes, and then the mind can become calmer. So this is what we call in. This is what something very famous monk in Thailand, Ajahn would call wisdom developing samadhi. So you're using your introspective facilities to actually develop some form of stillness and calm in the mind. And hopefully it should mediate back and forth between that. You use your wisdom, and then some calm arises in the mind. And then you get a little bit of calm for a while, and then the mind starts to move again. If it starts to move again, you try to develop more wisdom. and it brings the mind, and makes it calm again, and then your mind can become deeper and deeper, and your practice can become deeper and deeper doing this. And you can use many different things. You can use a reflection of impermanence, the reflection on many different things. You could even do something like metta that we did, developing loving kindness, or you can even do things. One thing my teacher Ajahn would recommend a lot if you're having a lot of these over-assailing thoughts is to actually, you can maybe do a chant in your mind. So do like a longer chant. So for example, the recollection of the Buddha, you can do a long chant, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vichacharana Sampanno. You can do these longer chants over and over if the mind is racing too much, and keeping your mind with this one thing can actually help, rein those wild horses in a little bit more, and then eventually after you've done the chant a few times in your mind, it might just get less and less. You might just go Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho, and then you might just start to do Buddho, 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 and then the mind gets calmer and calmer. So there's many ways to skin a cat with that one. So not literally, obviously, but yeah. I don't condone skinning of animals. Any other questions on there, or no? Very good. If there's no questions, it must mean you're all peaceful and calm, and it must mean that you've come back to the BSV and it's like, this is so great, this is so nice, everyone's calm and quiet and peaceful, and we're all together. This is really good. I don't need anything more, so I don't need any more questions, which is good. Okay. If there's nothing else.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Without having to go up to the microphone.
Yeah, why not?
Right? Yeah.
Just that the
I can
online can't hear the question, but if you could
I can repeat it. I'll repeat it. Yeah.
I just wondered if you visualise things, because I've got mental images going constantly, and I'm wondering if, because you've been doing it for so long and it's sort of narrowed down, like you said, are you aware of visualisations while you're meditating?
So the question was, am I aware of any kind of visualizations? Because, a lot of us maybe have the same kind of things. A lot of thoughts run through the mind. There's a lot of visual images run through the mind. So do you mean me specifically, or just generally? Yeah, me specifically. Yeah, of course. Of course they're there. They're not. They're still a part. They're still a part of the active mind. Any kind of active mind will have some either language or images, or even maybe there's like feelings in the mind. Different people are different. Some people are more visual and they will see more images of different things, or some people are more linguistic and they'll have more thoughts, or my big problem is I have songs going through my head all the time, so that's for me, that's the annoying one. Or you get sitting there, you get some sort of song stuck in your head, and that's there goes 20 minutes of your life. But what ends up happening, the more you practice with these things, and the more, it doesn't matter whether they're imagistic or linguistic or any of these other kinds of factors, you're learning to do the same thing when you're meditating, is to keep trying to bring your mind back to the object that you're doing. So whether they're images or whether they're like they're words or anything like that, you're just trying to not give them so much weight and give them so much attention, and you're just trying to come back to the, say for example, the breath or whatever it is. And what happens is they're still there. They're all still there. The circus is still playing while you're trying to watch the breath, but it just doesn't worry you as much, or you don't get pulled into it as much, or it's not as loud or as bright or as captivating anymore. It's still there, but everything's becoming lower, and sort of like the volume's being turned down on it. And eventually they will, if you can stay with something like the breath for a period of time, they will drop away. They will stop. But it might only stop for a few seconds, and then the switch gets flicked on again, and there they all are again. So, but the more you practice like this, the longer those periods of time can be, where you aren't assailed by these images and things like that. But yeah, just try to not pay so much attention to them, and just know that it's totally normal. So, like, absolutely everyone has them. But as I said, some people are different. Some people see more images. Some people actually hear, have more language in their mind. So, it's the same problem. So, yeah. But yeah, I still have them, 100%. Anyone else want to ask a question and then not come up to the mic, and I can just repeat it? Saves the shyness of getting up and going to the microphone. If there's nothing online, or if there's no more, we might call it a night. Is there any announcements or anything before we call it a night?
Just to check with them if they have scanned the QR code.
Okay, yeah. So we're all back together, and there's a few of us here. So we still have to keep safe, and we still have to make sure we're doing all the right things. And one of those right things is just making sure everybody's scanned the QR code tonight, just in case anything happens. The world. What happens in the world is out of our hands, but we have to try to do our best to mitigate the problems of the world. So, just hope. And with that, I'll say thank you all for coming tonight. And we're likely doing this every week now. So anybody that is online, we're doing it more in person again now. And I'll be here, or some other monastic will be here. So yeah, you're all more than welcome to come every week. So, and more people that come. Yeah.
And, on the 1st of May, we have a day meditation here.
Yep.
From 8:30 to 4:30.
So on just another announcement, on the 1st of May, which is next Saturday, we're having a one-day meditation retreat. And what time was it again? Sorry. 8:30 to 4:30. So that's a full day of.
Bring your own lunch, please.
Yeah, bring your own lunch, and bring some lunch for a monastic as well. That'd be much appreciated. There might be two of us, might be two monastics on that day.
I think it's going to be Aya and Samaneri.
Okay, yeah, great.
Ayopek and Samaneri.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the Samaneris.
Okay, great, yeah.
Pre-organized.
Pre-booked, don't worry about the monastics, and we're fine.
Dana is already probably taken.
Yeah. It's
For the monastic Dana, it's taken.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so just bring some lunch and bring your mind, and you can't do much about the food that you've bought. It's whatever you've done, you've bought it already, but over the course of the day you can improve your mind on the day. So yeah, have a full day of meditation. So I encourage you all to come to that as well. So with that, we might finish up now. We'll pay respects to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhaṃ Bhagavaṃ Abhivademi Swagato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅkho saṅghang namami.